Council Education Committee. We do not have a quorum, but we can still at least discuss this resolution and then continue on and vote if we get a quorum before we're done. It is RS 2018-1055 Schulman, aimed at addressing and ending homelessness among students that attend Metro Nashville public schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. So obviously you know that I've been involved in homelessness issues and worried about it. Had a discussion with Judy Tackett. Then I sent it some information to Mark North. Then I sent it to Catherine Knowles, who works for the school, who works for the public schools in terms of homelessness. I was looking for something as we were trying to figure out the temperature thing. Also then kind of remembered that there are a number of students that are homeless, that are considered homeless by the definition of whatever they use, and they go to our metro schools. Approximately 2,200 of those kids. It seems like, I mean, that's something that we could actually try to figure out how to deal with. I mean, the number is where we can figure out who they are. I can't think of it. Well, I can think of some really horrible things, but one of the most horrible things that I can think of is kids who wake up every morning and have no shelter. They're either sleeping in their cars, they're sleeping in a hotel, they're sleeping on somebody else's couch, and they have to go to school. And seems to me that we could, by sitting down and thinking through it, we could come up with some real solutions to this, because it's not that we could ever, maybe we can't solve the whole problem, but we could make a serious dent in this. Kids have enough trouble going to school. It's really hard for me to fathom that we have kids that are homeless that are going to school and have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So it's a resolution, and ask the Vice Mayor to put together a committee, start looking at this, working with the school board. It's something we can do together. School board, us, social services, the homelessness commission. We should try to figure out how to make this thing work.
Make a motion that we accept or approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
You want to add anything, Mr. North?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate the efforts.
well, my concern is that the issues that these kids have are with the parents. And I think that we have to address those issues and not necessarily, you know, we got to stop putting a Band-Aid on things just to address what's on the surface. But we've got to dig deep and find out why they are in that predicament and address that issue. As far as I'm concerned, I have empathy for those who have homeless issues, and I've worked on homeless projects before, and I've worked with an organization who deal with people who have homeless issues. But it's the homeless issue generally stems from something else, and I'd like to see us address that.
Councilor, you're exactly right. I mean, this is not, I mean, kids don't necessarily choose to be homeless. So it's a bigger issue. The problem that I think I was just sitting there thinking about it. I mean, we're trying to deal with, I mean, it's hard enough to try to deal with just getting Metro, in some cases, to open up a shelter at 25 or 32 degrees when it's freezing outside. And then I started thinking about, okay, so I got that problem. This is a defined problem. There are people that work with it within the school system. There are people who work with it with all the different organizations. But it's a bigger study than just looking at the kids. You got to look at the bigger picture and how do you deal with this. But I think the reason I picked this group, first of all, is I worry about this one, and I've heard about horrible situations. And then I also think about it's a select group. We can actually identify who they are, and then we can actually start trying to figure out what's causing this by talking to or understanding their family situation, and then try to start dealing with this.
What is the school board? What is the school board and the school
What do they think?
system? What are they doing?
Well, so there's a whole office that actually deals with this. It's really quite amazing. Catherine Knowles has been there for many, many years. I mean, she is always trying to find, I mean, the key is affordable housing. It always has been, I think. Now, there's other services that need, for wraparound purposes, they need services, but they don't have a place to live. And we're, because the prices are going up, they're running into bigger and bigger problems. Catherine knows, if you ever go out and visit her office, it's located in a portable back behind the Branchford Avenue. It is filled with boxes and racks of khaki pants and shirts for people who don't have the money, kids who don't have the money to be able to properly dress for school. I mean, there are so many issues floating around this city. Can we not actually try to accomplish and deal with one of these things? I mean, it bothers me tremendously that we have kids, as we all were.
And I do, and I agree, and I think that maybe what we need to do is focus on creating a community benefit agreement to make sure that people are getting some jobs that can help them come up out of homelessness. And
I'd love for you to be on the committee. I mean, so the vice mayor gets to pick.
Does that create, what does the ordinance do? Or resolution?
It's just a resolution. It just says, look, we got kids that go to school that are homeless, that wake up in the morning, they're in cars, and that's where they sleep, and then they get up and they go to school. Or they sleep in a hotel, or they sleep on somebody else's couch. They don't have a stable environment for various reasons. And I think the council lady was right in terms of picking it out. I don't know what all the answers are.
well, I'm just thinking about you can have these things that you offer. If this child's mother is still in the car, the child is going to be with the mother
That's right.
in the car, regardless of what we provide for the children. If the mother is in the car, that's where the children pretty much are going to be, because they are more concerned about being with their parents than they are concerned about having it. And I'm speaking from experience with a sister who had 7 children, and she wasn't able to keep them all, and my mother stepped in to try to help. And the kids, and they knew my mother and they loved her,
Yeah.
but they wanted to be with their mother. So, and I just want to really think through this and not just put a Band-Aid to it, but really find some solutions to the problems, and much of them they are with poverty.
So your resolution just basically gets the ball rolling. It establishes a task force. It doesn't really create a scope for this. The task force then will look at all the options that are available.
Yeah, it doesn't come up with any set solutions. It says, we got a problem. We understand, we know exactly how many kids we're talking about. Let's sit down and start coming up with solutions and try to rectify this one. So I don't have the answers for it. I just know that I hate the fact that we have this problem.
Okay.
You guys corn without me, Mr. Chair.
I know I gotta go too.
Is there any other discussion? Ready to vote? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
That's it. Adjourned.
Definitely good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Jim, I know you don't have a lot of time, but
So what are you guys doing?